Let's make a gong. Hi, my name is Kengchakaj. You can call me Geng.
Hi, my name is Nitcha Tothong. I go by Fame.
And together we are elekhlekha.
Our work embraces our cultural heritage and Southeast Asian style culture.
And one of our focus in our practice is the gong making as well as the gong ensemble.
And we had recently hosted the workshop Create-athon at the Center exploring gong making.
And now we are going to teach you how to make your very own gong with found object that you can find throughout your house. So first, we are going to find a material that we are going to make the gong with.
Gong traditionally made up of metal material, and bronze being the most common material found throughout the traditional gong. But today we're gonna use any object that we find in the household. For today, I will use the cookie tin lid to create my gong.
And myself, I will use this big pizza tray to create a gong with. Make your mallet. So the next step is we are going to make a mallet. So this is a traditional mallet. Fame, can you tell us more about it?
So you can see that the traditional mallet construct with this stick part, and also inside the head part here have the rubber material and covering with cotton fabric to create the in-between soft and hard sound characteristic when you hit. So we're gonna try reconstruct this today with the material that we can find throughout our household.
So let's start maybe hearing how this sounds first. So in order to make your own mallet, you can start with just the object that you can find, such as the pencil, and then you can use it as is because it have the rubber on top. So you can hear it's similar kind of characteristic of sound with the traditional mallet.
So today I'm gonna use the stick that I'm found in the park with rubber band here. I'm gonna choosing which side will be the head, and I will pick this side, and then I just go in with some rubber band to begin with, and then keep adding to it.
I'm going to make a mallet out of this chopstick as well as the bouncing ball. What you want to start is actually making a hole on your rubber ball, and you can find something that have a little sharp edge, and you can poke a hole into it. Shouldn't be too hard to poke a hole into it. And then once you have the hole, you can put the thinner end of the chopstick and go into the rubber ball. And now you have one of the mallet.
I also finishing up mine. You want to try this too?
It's actually sound really nice. Yeah.
And yeah, we got it. Our mallet. What will be yours?
Framing your gong.
Gong is idiophone, so it means the whole thing need to be able to vibrate once stuck. And the most common way that we see gong frame is hanging, which is mean is no contact around the gong materials. And once you hit it with mallet, it's vibrate the whole thing. But you can use any tool, make a hole and put the rope, and it can be another way to set your gong. Another hanging way is to use a clip like this. And it also can be a great way to set your gong as well.
Another way that you can frame your gong is to lay your gong onto suspended rope, and you can find that in instruments like kulintang from the Philippines or Khong Wong Yai from Thailand.
We can recreate that using anything we find at home, like the crate or basket, and put the rope on it.
As you can see, it could be something that have a handle that you can tie your two rope together like this to suspend your gong. So let's hear how it sounds. And the good thing is you can put more than one. Shaping your gong. So gong from Thailand have this little bump in the middle that we call dimple. So this is a dimple gong. So today we are going to shape our gong to make a dimple gong. We are going to use this hammer, so it would be best if we take a precaution by wearing this safety glove. And making the gongs can be really noisy activity as well, so we want to have some kind of ear protection as well.
Earplug also work as well, so I'm gonna use earplug.
So let's hear how it sounds before we actually start hammering. So let's start making a dimple gong. I'm using this sand tray. So it's have to be something that's solid enough to be able to hold the gong, but also flexible enough that when you start making the dimple, it will give. So first, what we like to do is find the middle of the gong. You can use a marker to mark the middle of the gong, but I'm going to use the tape today because I like my gong to be clean afterward. One more thing. So it's not like, hammer that like that. It's more of like a tapping action. And you can do this outside in the dirt as well, either in the park or maybe your backyard. So now we're going to start tapping our gong. So we're not quite done yet, but let's hear how it sounds. So I'm gonna keep hammering to make the sound even more focused. Let's hear how it sounds. You can keep working on it, but I'm pretty happy with the sound right now. Another option that you can do is to hammer a ring, which will allow the gong to have a sustained longer sound.
The other way that you can make the dimple, if you don't have access to the sand tray or you don't feel comfortable to create noise outside, we can find some material and create the dimple gong in our house. I use this tape roll to have the structure to support the gong, but also like have the space to tap the dimple out. So we're gonna put this kind of like in the middle area. But also I use like some soft material, and this can be towel, but I use this foam package. And then put the tape roll and our gong on top of it. All right, now we get everything ready and then start tapping. So let's hear how this sounds. I'm gonna start with the version without the dimple. It's really open sound. So the dimple kind of create like the warmer and more focused sound.
Decorating your gongs.
So we got our dimple gong, and next we're gonna make it even more personal by decorating it. So here's I have some acrylic colors and paintbrush. These are really good for metal, so I'm gonna be using that.
Today I'm going to be using this white pen marker. So traditionally, gong are using in religious rituals. So a lot of the time you will see this kind of floral pattern on the gong, but also a lot of the time you will see this animal called nak, which is kind of like a Southeast Asian version of a water dragon on the gong. So these are the important cultural symbols that we use for our gong, but also you can use important cultural symbols from your culture as well. So in this kind of pattern, we actually trying to imitate how the sound can be seen with the vibration coming from the center and kind of vibrate, almost like a water ripple out of the center.
The gong that we are decorating here, we are using like a really single color, but you can also add as many color as you want and can imagine.
Now that we are finished our gong, we're going to teach you a rhythm. So this rhythm is a rhythm from Thailand that we use in wedding ceremony, and hear how it's go. Mong, mong, teng, mong, teng, mong, teng, mong. So you can hear that there's a low sound, which is mong, and a high sound. So here's how it sounds on one gong. So you can find the low sound here and a high sound here. So let's hear that together. Mong, mong, teng, mong, teng, mong, teng, mong. since we have two gong here, so we're gonna be able to play together with the low gong sound and the high gong sound. So let's play together. So mong, mong teng, mong teng, mong teng, mong, mong, mong teng, mong teng, mong, mong teng, mong teng, mong teng, mong.
Thank you so much for making Gong with us. And remember, Gong is meant to be played together. So please share this video with your friends so they can be able to make their own Gong and create sound together.